Hello everyone, it's Justine. Welcome back to video number 2 now of my card kit series. I will only have 2 this month. I still have a lot of materials left over, but I decided just to make 2 since I'm making videos for every other club product that Spellbinders has coming out. So here is card number 9 technically of my 16 card series, and you can see here I'm doing the paper stretching technique here again. So if you don't remember from video number 1, all I do is I take shorter paper and cut it in the middle and then stretch it out. So sometimes it will line up and be long enough, and sometimes it won't. Like this gray piece is rather short, so I had to definitely stretch that one out a lot. Then when I put my chipboard window right over it, you won't even see it. So it's kind of a nice way to make the materials go just a little bit longer, especially now that the card kits are just a little different than they were before. So if you are not aware of the differences between the old style card kits and the new style, go ahead and check out the video that I posted all about the updates for the clubs. Here's a picture of that now. And I just kind of talk about all of the differences for the new year. I also did a whole unboxing of this card kit, the indoor garden, and I have a video. This is what it looks like. And with that video, I go through all of the materials, and just in case you missed it, I do have a card kit video number 1 here. Then that was my last video that I posted yesterday. So this is number 2. I hope that you are inspired by some of these cards. Maybe be on the lookout for your favorite as we go through all 8 cards here. I definitely have to keep gemstones and sequins that come in card kits on my desk like this, because if I do not, I will simply forget to add them onto my cards. So the sequins and the foam squares are something that I just have to have on my workspace as I go along. So there's a look at the first finished card there. Basically just pattern paper, die cuts, gemstones, chipboard window, chipboard sticker, and that's that. Now this is one of the puffy stickers, and I really did like how they were pretty neutral with black and white. I have a ton left over, and I will be using those on future projects for sure. But since I was moving that one around a lot, it definitely lost its stick because I was touching it and lifting it off of different surfaces. So I did have to go in with just a little bit of liquid glue to re-stick it. Now this last plant that I just put down there on the left was probably my favorite, just because I love how the plant hangs down, and I loved the plant stand on that card. But how fun is it that all of these plants are different and all of the planters and stands are different? I think that is just so neat. So this card is a little different as well because it is just, there's a lot going on with it. But I think that it would be perfect for the right person. Now just to finish off this card, I will pop up my last plant. And like I said, if I don't have those foam squares and things on hand, I just won't use them. So I tried sticking it down, and then I thought, no, it needs some dimension. So I quickly popped it up with some foam squares. Speaking of foam squares, make sure to use the negative space in between the foam squares because it's the same height and definitely gives you a similar dimension. So make sure you're using those up as well. Kind of get all the bang for your buck, you know. So this next card is a scene card. I definitely had a lot of fun building different scenes and kind of daydreaming about an apartment filled with plants. But, you know, that's not my life. But I have a big window here in the back. Then we have a bookshelf that's kind of like the ladder bookshelves, which are kind of popular and modern right now. And then there's this rug that goes right on the bottom. I realize now looking at it that the rug's a little crooked, but I don't know, a lot of the rugs in my home are crooked, so that is life. Anyway, we have another bookshelf that has the kind of arched top then a plant, and then we have a plant with some kind of tapestry hanging out underneath it. And of course we have our gal. I think I need to give her a name because she's been in a few other cards, so let's call her Veronica. Anyway, we have Veronica here in the back putting a plant on the window, which is kind of sweet. I did choose the sentiment, home is where you plant it, and that is one of the puffy stickers, and I really just wasn't feeling that sentiment as I was creating, so I ended up taking my scissors here and just chopping off the is where you plant it, and I just have the home. And now I'm going to turn this into a little bit of a decor for Veronica here to have in her home. So it's kind of like a sign that you might pick up at a home decor store that says home. And it's just going to rest on the window here as if it was part of her little house decor. So it will need a sentiment. So I'm going to go ahead and use one of the stamped sentiments that I pre-stamped. You can see here, this is my little stash of pre-stamped sentiments that I have all ready to go. And all of those are from the add-on sentiment, stamped sentiment set. That's, what is it called? Sentimental Greetings is what it's called. There we go. Trying to get my ducks in a row in my brain. But it's just really easy to pre-stamp those and have them all set to go. So here I am just adding a little bit of cardstock behind my stamp sentiment, and that will go in the top right corner. It's always a good idea to have some get well cards on hand. I think that it's kind of a sentiment that is not as frequent in the card area, and I think it's also nice to have some of these housewarming cards around, because you never know. People move. You can maybe get a new neighbor and give them a card. How pretty is that pattern paper? My goodness. But it's just something cheerful that you can give to someone and just kind of well wish them, for their new house or apartment or wherever they're living. I think it would also be kind of neat to gift this kind of like house cards if you have a few of them in your stash, and give a couple of them to a realtor, because I know a lot of times when you buy a house, realtors will give the home buyer like a thank you card saying like, oh, thank you for letting me be a realtor, thanks for letting me sell your house. And I think that they always need cards like that on hand, so it's kind of a sweet thing you could do for a realtor in your life. But here we are with all of the suns. Now, yes, I realize there's only one sun that would shine behind a house in our galaxy, if you will, but I guess technically the stars in the sky are suns, but anyway. But we have 3 suns behind this house because it's super bright and cheerful, and maybe the 2 little ones are more of a flower. You decide. Anyway, here I am getting all of my value out of those foam squares. Sorry, the train is really distracting me. Sometimes I feel like I might have a little attention issues, but whatever. All right, we have the last part of this card is that little foam sticker that says congratulations. So again, maybe a housewarming card. Now this one was super fun because I love using black on cards. I don't know why, it just works for my brain. So we have a black and pink card, which is always fun. And we have a little plant shop there that was black and pink, so it kind of coordinated. Then the pattern paper has the same leaves as the leaves on the plant, so again, it all is just working together. Now I was thinking, do I need the sentiment thank you or not? I wasn't really sure. And then I thought, well, what is this card without a sentiment? It's just like a plant store, so I think it might need something. So I did add the thank you sentiment on the bottom just to kind of give the card a purpose. Then, of course, I'm going to add some gems because why not? Those gold flecks in those gems are just gorgeous. So gotta pop those on as well. Oh, I didn't mention that black circle behind there. I just had cardstock and used a circle punch that I had in my stash. But if you're not into paper punches, you could definitely get some dies I know that Spellbinders has a lot of different shape dies on their website that are awesome for repeated die cutting. Now, this card I think is my favorite card from all of this card kit because I love how the floating shelves look. I love that they have the plant that's hanging down. I believe that's called the String of Pearls succulent, and I love this card. And I chose to make it a thank you because I always need thank you cards as a teacher, and this is perfect for like a neutral thank you. It could go to a family, a girl, a boy, a man, a woman. Anyone would be happy to get that one. So here we are with this one. We have another chipboard frame. I loved the pattern paper in the background there. You can see it's all hanging plants. Then we have, this chipboard was kind of giving me some troubles. But then I took a die cut circle and just kind of rested that in the top corner. And once I put it on my card, nothing will be moving around. Thank goodness. There we go. And just to make sure everything is nice and straight, I'm going to actually use the pattern paper to kind of be my guide. And this little die cut was just not working for me, so I just lopped off the corners and made them squared off, if you will, then rested it in. And that worked out much better. So, another little tip for you. Now, this card, again, is a get well card. So I have a plant here. I have this little book, like a plant journal. I'm not sure who keeps plant journals, but man, I would love the time to keep a plant journal. We have some foam squares on the edges, and I'm treating this kind of like a butterfly. So I have the foam on the outside, and then I'm going to put liquid glue on the inside. Therefore, it looks like it's actually a book that has a little bit of dimension with the pages kind of coming up on the sides, like so. And again, I'll put the center down just like I do with my butterflies. Now that I have that little get well soon sentiment already put on the same matching green cardstock there, it's all ready to go. That was a really fast card. It's easy to make. I love how the card kits still coordinate with similar colors and similar tones. So it's really simple to make cards once you kind of know what you're doing. One of my biggest tips for card kits is just make something. Try it. The worst case scenario is you make something you don't love, and is it really that big of a deal? Not really, because there's still more materials. So just try it is my advice. It's like a Nike, just do it. Now, with this chair, it is angled back, and the placement of my basket, I think, kind of hindered the reality look, or like the realness of how my chair is sitting, because I'm going to put this blanket basket on the bottom right, and it almost looks like the chair is floating. So I think if I were to redo this card, it needs some ground. So either to put a pattern paper kind of going maybe about 2 inches on the bottom of that cream paper, just to give it some kind of a something to rest on, if that makes sense, some kind of a horizon line, so it looks like there's a bottom. Otherwise that chair looks like it's just kind of floating, but you know, que sera, sera. Anyway, here is a look at all 8 of my finished cards. I would love to know which one is your favorite. Like I said before, I think the one with the floating shelves and the thank you is my very favorite. I'm sure it'll come up here in just a second, but which one is your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, if you have any card kit questions, club questions, let me know in the comments, and be sure to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this in the future. And if you have liked the video, learned something, been inspired, go ahead and hit the like button, and it really does help me out and be able to make more content for you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!